All right, Jack, we're actually doing great on time. So we'll do one more question, and then I think this will be a record time podcast for us for a change. So there's one more from Travis. Travis is also from Atlanta. Travis says, how do I keep a sales team engaged when you have extremely long sales cycles, typically 12 to 18 months? And he says, especially when they're not hitting their numbers today. How do I keep them engaged? Great question, actually, because we have a number of companies that watch this podcast and listen to it who are in manufacturing or engineering or who do government bids, very long sales cycles. So I'm sure there's a number of companies that are thinking the same thing. What are your thoughts, Jack?
So I'm going to give three parts to this. Part one is build a larger pipe. Part two is monitor, recognize, and acknowledge activities as compared to sales or closures. And the third is contests. And so, look, if I go back to the first one, if I build a larger pipe, then I, by definition, will be having regular successes and closings on a regular ongoing basis. If my pipeline has 10 prospects in it, and I'm a 12 to 18 month type of sales cycle, I'm going to be waiting a long time. But if I have 100 and they came in at a variety of different times, then I'm hitting that 12 to 18 month closing period on a regular ongoing basis. And so all of a sudden that 12 to 18 month sales cycle actually disappears because we've always got this larger pipeline that's at a different level, right? So, so think about how you need to structure your sales team to generate that larger pipe, so that we don't get overwhelmed with a large pipe and we can't handle it on an individual salesperson level. And one of my axioms over my life has been too many salespeople calling on too many people that don't deserve to be called on. So I want to be cautious about this advice of a larger pipe, and then we're not caretaking them through that 12 to 18 month period. So you might have to make an investment in more salespeople with that larger pipe in the initial year before you start to get the consistent month by month closing flow. All right. Gotcha. Second is it's all about activities for me. When you break down the process of selling, there are identifiable activities that need to take place during that 12 to 18 month period in order for it to get to the finish line. And so what we want to make sure is that our conversations amongst our salespeople are all activity related. We don't want to be focused on, if I have a sales meeting and it's an hour sales meeting, I don't want 90% of the hour to be talking about what's closing and how we're having a challenge with the deals that are in the process of closing. I want the 90% on activities, because it's the activities that will generate the closings. And then the third thing is I love fun. My cultures, I want my salespeople to make sure that they enjoy what they're doing. And so I do that with a variety of different contests: daily contests, weekly contests, monthly contests, quarterly contests, annual contests. And when you start breaking all these contests down, and you can have those contests fed into winning based on certain activities, not closings, then all of a sudden it's all about the activities. And you can break them down into short type of things, all the way to the point where I've had companies that have had a long sales cycle where I'm walking in with a Starbucks card for $50 and saying, whoever does this today, they get a $50 Starbucks card. And so it's breaking those activities down and then making sure that that's where our focus is. So I'll pass it back to you.
No, you know what? I love that. I would underscore every single one of those three. I think I'm not going to try and even add anything to that. The only question that I would have on this for Travis is, you mentioned that your salespeople aren't hitting their numbers today. That's a red flag for me. Why are they not hitting their numbers today? What numbers are they not hitting? if they're not hitting their closing numbers from deals that were started 12 to 18 months ago, well, then we have a problem because we might have the wrong people in the wrong seats. And now you're going to struggle to keep salespeople engaged because, as Jack says, if you've already been running the system for a while and you've got a bigger pipe, and every month there are deals from before that are trying to close and you're not closing them, well, you're going to struggle to keep a sales team engaged who are not good enough because they have delayed gratification and they're not getting paid when there's an opportunity to get paid. So I have a question mark as to what are they not hitting? Is it their leading indicators or their lagging indicators that they're not hitting? And is that giving us an indication that they are not the right salespeople, or are we not tracking the right numbers? Because as Jack says, for me, long sales cycles, and we certainly have a lot of technical clients that have got long sales cycles, you need to have that milestoned out. And then when people are hitting milestones, there needs to be rewards for hitting milestones, right? Because we're building momentum towards a future event, and you're investing in that as you're coming up to the big close. But what I'm concerned about, Travis, is that if people are not hitting their numbers today, either we don't have the right leading indicators, or we might not have the right salespeople in the right seats. And that obviously is a completely different issue that needs to be addressed.
Hey, Morné, I love the fact that you identified that piece because I missed it completely. I overlooked it, and it's something that's absolutely critical. There are too many companies with that longer sales cycle that don't move early enough on non-performers. Yeah. And the excuse that's given is, well, we can't tell because it's a long cycle. And I challenge my clients with that all the time. How long do you think it will take you to figure out whether you've got somebody in a sales seat that doesn't belong in the seat? And anybody that would tell me, no matter what the business is and how long the cycle is, anybody would tell me that it's going to take them longer than 90 days, I just call them out. I know behaviorally in a variety of different ways in a 90-day period whether somebody is going to be a player or not a player. And so are you making sure that the people that are in the seats belong in the seats? Good,
gotcha.
Man. Thank you.
Perfect.